I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to the Board of Supervisors meeting this June 6, 2023. We have any changes to the tentative agenda?
I have none.
Next we have meet with department heads and elected officials. Krista Pogamiller, Health Department.
Good morning. We continue to keep busy. We are starting up our mosquito surveillance programs. So throughout town, we have different mosquito trap sets. So I always encourage the public not to touch those if they see them. But we do try to monitor the type of mosquitoes we have in our county.
Well, you're not doing a good enough job. I got tore up over the weekend. I think it was the weed commissioner. He was breaking them out. That's what he was doing. You gotta get everybody working in concert, you know what I mean? So
Give your address.
That's right. When the weed commissioner breaks them out, then you guys come in and swallow them. Well, I'll help you with that. Okay.
Well, unfortunately, we only look to see what type we have. We don't catch them all, but we try.
Does it catch and release or?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, no. No, we definitely keep them. You think the way they swarm, but we're releasing them.
All right. We appreciate you. Rodney Bleasner, maintenance.
Good morning. Just got a lot going on, but nothing new to report this morning. Thank you.
Ken Heinman, what region am I calling you now? What are we calling you? Ken Heinman representing what?
The Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa.
All right.
And yeah, we just have a 2080 agreement on the agenda, so that's all.
Trent Hinklewood.
Chris is upstairs, he's got a jury trial today. My office was awake last week, so that's been taken care of over on me, very good. But everything else is going pretty smooth.
Sounds good. Jared Lassiter, land use.
Morning. I guess the theme for today is everything old is new again. We have a subdivision that I just handed to you a few minutes ago that probably be on the agenda either 2 weeks or possibly more for that one. That one is actually originally submitted almost 5 years ago. It was a one lot subdivision that now it's several lots. There's a long story there, but just interesting to note that if you weren't around originally on the board, but the other two, if you remember it or it sounds familiar, there's a reason for that. And then there's also one on the agenda today, which that one actually has been approved by the board already, but because it's been more than 6 months, where requirement is that it becomes invalid, and so we'd have that on there for a formal reapproval. So. Yep, that's the theme for today. Apart from that, I don't have anything else to report.
Okay. I appreciate you. Chris Lee, conservation. What's going on outside?
Last weekend we had our youth jamboree event. Actually one of the lowest turnouts we've seen in years. But it was hot out. It was graduation weekend. There was other fishing stuff going on. Some of the other counties had events going on. So there's lots to do out there, which is a great thing. Honestly, having the low numbers kind of made it a little bit easier on volunteers. So, but it was a good event. I don't know what the actual number was. A few hundred out there, which is pretty low compared to the 500, 600, 700, 800 that we normally see. But it was a great event. A lot of kids had a lot of fun, and really appreciate the volunteers to help put that on. Hy-Vee donated a lot of food. Walmart sent people out to volunteer and sent some food as well, and then all the local wildlife and conservation organizations make that really happen. So nice to have that behind us for one more year. We'll be doing a kind of a post-event wrap-up and talking about when to schedule for next year. Summer camps will be starting up, I think, next week, and so it'll be kind of all hands on deck. Run that there at Stars Cave. Otherwise, just keeping the parks up and going, staying pretty busy.
Colin Gerst, IT.
Morning. Just getting busy like always. I don't really have anything new to report.
Okay, thank you for being busy for us. County Sheriff, Kevin Glendenny.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Another busy week. We had an unfortunate incident last Tuesday at the jail. We had a correctional officer that was assaulted. It was a unprovoked incident, somebody that had just come into intake. That correctional officer is doing well considering, but we're continuing to assess that situation and do everything we can to minimize those kind of situations. That person's been charged with a couple different charges in addition to what he came in for. So we're moving forward with that. We're glad to see that correctional officer improving. Over the weekend, we did, we annually, a couple times a year, we'll do sex offender compliance checks where we check every sex offender. Throughout the year, we also do those checks regularly. We just check in on our offenders. There's 149 offenders in Des Moines County. Pretty much all of those have been checked over the last couple days, and we had the assistance of the U.S. Marshals. They sent 3 U.S. Marshals down. DCI, we had 3 agents here, and then Burlington PD assisted with several of their officers and most of our deputies. So we were able to check all those. We ended up finding 14 violations. So with that, those are violations like failing to report employment. Some of them are internet identifiers. It's pretty specific on what they have to report. So internet identifiers are if they have like a social media platform, they get onto TikTok and they haven't registered that they have TikTok. The amazing thing is now is we have a way to check if somebody has, that they're on the internet. And what we know is the internet's that gateway into people's homes and the children's bedrooms, so they have to register those. So if they fail to register those, then they're in violation. They have 5 business days to register. So a lot of those 14 violations are due to that, those kind of violations. So 14 were charged. There's going to be a few more. That caused our jail population to go up a little bit. We're at 89, and hopefully that'll flex back down. But due to that, we have 11 out of county and 1 juvenile that's being housed. I'll also add that Sergeant Dave Murguia was deputized as a special deputy U.S. Marshal with the Violent Fugitive Task Force. So what that does for us is it gives us access to those resources, databases, information. There's still a few boxes we have to check, finish up some background and stuff like that. But so he will be working with them at times, and we'll also have them as resources for things like what we did this weekend. So over the last couple of days, we were able to check all those, and having those resources and those relationships are just going to be very helpful. I'll add Burlington officer Jake Jenkins, another fine officer who's also deputized. So we're going to have those resources here locally. So we're really looking forward to that. Other than that, we're working on the process of getting Essex communication on our radios. Essex is the state communication. We're just working on getting our own local talk groups. That's kind of it's more of a just working through the administration and getting our own talk group set up for that. So that's about all I got for the week.
Sounds like you got plenty. I'm glad the officers doing better. Keep us posted on that.
Will do.
Sarah Marie, auditor.
Good morning. Rural cleanup ends this Saturday the 10th, so if you have stuff to get cleaned up, you have until then to do so. Other than that, just busy, business as usual.
All right. And the county engineer, Brian Carter.
Good morning. I guess reminder, next Tuesday is the DOT commission. They'll be in town. I guess I actually haven't even looked. I'm assuming they're meeting out at the casino complex, but I'm not sure where they're holding the meeting, so I'll have to check into that. So I'll be at that in all likelihood, I guess on behalf of the county, but also on behalf of the Highway 61 Coalition. We obviously made a lot of progress to the north, and we want to see that continue. The DOT was still hoping for a 4-lane opening this week. I have to say that it's Tuesday and it's not there, so I'd say I'm skeptical about that, but I have to believe they would like to see it open before that commission comes down, because that commission comes on a Monday, or sometimes even a Sunday night, I'm not sure, and they spend Monday touring the district basically. for all different kinds of projects, and I would have to guess this is one of the bigger ones. So I would suspect they would like to see that open, but that's up to the contractor more than them, so. I think they're still hoping for this week's opening, but I know whether it's this week or next week that they're close. So, there will still be work out there, so we'll still have to pay attention. I think they're gonna do some finishing work just under one lane closure type conditions. But, I guess another closure, we sounded a press release, yesterday, so it's out there already, but, our crew has started a bridge, basically a bridge rehab, but it's about a 60-70% bridge replacement project. We're gonna do take off a deck, do significant rehab work on the abutments in the cap, have to rebuild the cap, and then basically put a new deck, kind of a custom beam and slab deck on top of the old abutments. So at some point, I'll probably try to slip you guys out there. I think this is the kind of project that saves us a ton of money compared to bringing in contractors or replacing the bridge itself. And to give you guys an idea of, I could take you out there when it's done and new and everything else, but that wouldn't be fair to the guys, and I'll let you see what they started with, because it's gonna be a lot of just some tedious detail stuff. It's the kind of thing where you kinda gotta tear it apart and then adjust your plans by what you found, type of a thing, so.
Brian, what bridge?
It's on 190th Avenue, north of 140th. You guys should have received a press release on that for closure. So, and that gives accurate, that release has an address that the closure is right beside.
Okay.
But it's 190th Avenue north of 140th Street, so it's northeast of Danville, I guess, in general. So anyway, that'll be closed for a couple months, I'm sure. It's a low volume, side gravel road. The bridge has been posted for a number of years, so it's not like anything significantly heavy has been running, should have been running across it. So I think everybody in that area will adjust just fine for a little bit. And as far as Highway 99 and the project north of Burlington, we have a pre-construction meeting tomorrow with the contractor, so we will get a far better handle on their intentions. As of right now, they're talking about starting on the late start date, which is June 19th, so unless I come and say differently next week, which I may, we'll see what comes out of the meeting tomorrow. I think the next couple of days or next couple of board meetings, you'll hear me harp on the fact that you're gonna see that closure come about, and I think you're gonna probably see it on June 19th. But I'll have a better feel for that tomorrow and then update it next Tuesday. We don't know for sure, but as I've mentioned before, for roughly 3 weeks of that overall closure, Golf Course Road will be closed, that intersection. Right now, from what they've said, they're planning on doing that right off the bat. So again, I'll clarify that next week. But that'll probably be the closure's gonna be a pain for everybody, but the Golf Course Road closure will obviously impact a greater clientele when you look at the amount of traffic that cuts across there. But they will, even if they do it right off the bat, there's a limit on how long they can have it closed. And then once I open back up, that traffic will be able to flow through there. They won't be able to go north, the project north will be closed. All our dust control's done, so as near as we can anticipate, hopefully we have the worst of the roads addressed and dealt with, and we'll just see where things go. And I'll let you guys know a little bit more detail next week after the meeting tomorrow. I don't know, other than that, a ton of stuff going on behind the scenes, trying to get projects ready and heading out the door. It's kind of been a battle with the permitting process with the Corps of Engineers, but we just keep on trying to make phone calls and emails and stuff like that. So that's all I have.
What's the what?
There's more than that. I've already gone on plenty long enough.
Yeah. Well, Natalie's not here, you can have her time too.
I think she had a meeting.
Yeah, Janelle's missing too, so. All right, well, we appreciate that. Thank you, Brian. Let's move on to correspondence.
I got a couple
emails, and I think you guys probably got them too. And at least the second one was sort of a question to the board, but I can go ahead and read them and we can respond. The first one, and it mentions you, Shane.
Thanks a lot, Thomas.
It says, "Gentlemen, I just watched the City of Burlington City Council meeting of this past week. Then I attempted to watch yours. I could not watch any more than 20 minutes. Why? Camera is suspended from ceiling, too high up. Sound is difficult to hear, echoes in the room. No camera switch to person at podium, if you even have a podium." And as an aside, we don't have a podium. We took it out a couple, 3 years ago because when they upgraded the audio system, that you can hear people from where they're sitting. And I think it's a little more user-friendly. A lot of people don't like to step up to a podium and speak. Anyway, back to the letter. "I certainly hope you guys can do better. Mr. McCampbell, you should, since you were there when Burlington set that system up. It is viewer-friendly. I know your viewership would improve at county level. I would definitely watch a lot more. 9 a.m. Tuesday time slot does not allow many folks to attend or see the meetings. I'm glad you have at least established what you presently have, but you can do better." Well, that 9 a.m., it's been here for as long as I can remember. There have been a handful of times we've met at different times and nobody came unless it was some particular topic we were discussing. And back to the letter. "Thanks for hearing me out. Hopefully changes will come to improve. Jim Friend." You're the...
I received that as well.
I know.
Why are you looking at me, Tom?
Well, I guess I don't know. The reason we don't have a podium, like I said, is I think a lot of people were uncomfortable if they want to speak to a board to step up to a podium and speak into a microphone. That's pretty much, very few people like to speak in front of a group. And I think it's a little more user-friendly we've got. And as far as this is the first I've heard about the unhappy with the camera position.
This is my second time hearing, but not through email, and, yeah.
The way the room's kind of designed, it's got limitations there, like where I can put the camera and where we can kind of put the audio. We can make a couple little adjustments, but in terms of big changes, like for swapping cameras and stuff like that, I have to put in a whole different system. And if that's something the board, is interested in me chasing down and looking to see if it'd be worth the dollars to it, I can definitely do that. When we kind of put this together in 2020, we put it together with what I had on hand, which was a security camera, and then just tied our spare computer over there into our recorder, and then set up a couple additional button mics for better audio. But I don't know whether the viewership would go through the roof with some changes. I'm a little skeptical on that, but
They're seeing the same thing we're seeing on this screen here.
in the corner, yeah.
Yeah, from 4 to 7.
And I'm with, yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that up there. I did not get this email, by the way, gentlemen. I checked my junk mail, I checked my trash mail, and I checked my mail. I did not receive this Jim Friend mail, so.
There's a glitch on the system call.
I'll have to look and see. But yeah, it should've went to your mailbox, because it went to.
I went back through some video just to double check, just to make sure it's like, maybe it's something off or something that I haven't, that I haven't recognized. And I played the last meeting that we had, and my hearing isn't the best. So I talk a little loud sometimes. I'm not a good whisperer, but I could make out most of it. Now on my phone, there's been some times that it's like I couldn't hear, but on my TV, I didn't have any problems. Could it be better and more clear? Well, I'm sure you could get more better and clear, yeah. But I don't know what to even say to that. I just didn't want to blow off anybody. I'm glad you brought up Mr. Friend's correspondence.
This is my 13th year, and this is the first and only time somebody has implied that they would like to get a better look at me.
Nobody's asked it.
I'm flattered. But anyway, thank you. And we have another one that sounded like they would a question.
Says, Dear County Supervisors, we signed up for the new property tax exemption for seniors aged 65 and older today. Excuse me. They told us it was worth about $100 for the first tax year and about $200 for the following tax years. This matched my rough estimate. Personally, this isn't a large amount of money per senior property taxpayer. It was marketed by Representative Collins as a big deal for seniors, frowny face. In the infinite wisdom of the Republican-led Iowa legislature, this will, however, be a big deal at the county, city, and school district level when it's total. How do you see this tax reduction affecting the county budget and county services when it takes effect? Other thoughts? It's my understanding that the senior tax exemption reduces taxable property values for homeowners over 65 by $3,250 in fiscal '25 and $6,500 in fiscal '26 and beyond. It's obviously an effort to provide some relief for the elderly. The letter writer said $200 doesn't amount to much for her. That's good, but everybody has different circumstances. So, and I thought about it for a moment. What about a retiree who has a $130,000 house, lives on a fixed income, is dealing with the worst inflation we've suffered in 40 years? If we figure a 50% rollback, that senior tax credit will mean a 10% cut in his property taxes. That person might look at it a little differently. Well, if you got a $130,000 property and you got a 50-cent rollback, you pay property taxes on $65,000. $6,500 is 10% of that. So that would be a 10% in that particular instance. That would be a 10% cut in their property taxes. I have a feeling that that individual might like that. All I know is the assessor mentioned to me that they have happy people coming into the office. And as far as its effect on the county, cities, and schools, I can only speak for Des Moines County. And Des Moines County doesn't cut essential services. We prioritize, we tighten our belt, we innovate, but we maintain essential services. That's been true for as long as I remember that. And
Well said.
One thing I'll say, it's not talked about there, and I didn't know this was gonna be the subject, so I don't have it researched recently, within the last few months, but, one thing is there is some pretty significant relief for indigent people over the age of, I think, 75. So they did.
In addition to
also-
this?
Yeah, in addition to this, they did change those that are retired, that are considered indigent and those standards. So I don't know if it'll affect the budget much, which is part of that question. But I think for those individuals, it'll be huge.
I think most of the changes they made, at least for counties, affects the tax base.
Yeah,
We won't know that. We'll get the rollback the 1st of November. Then the cities have 30 days to figure their TIFs, so we will get their TIF askings at the end of, so we won't know what our tax base is until December. So we really won't know what the,
There's just been a little over 2,000 people, according to the assessor, that signed up already. And we won't know how many people signed up for it until after July 1.
yeah.
So I mean, there's no way that we can actually answer this question that this lady's asking.
Right. Yeah.
There's too many factors going in there.
Did Matt tell you, he said it's kind of nice seeing happy people come into his office?
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised that she gave like the sad face, because I've got some members of my church that have utilized this, and they're very, very pleased. So, anyways,
Anyway, that's the extent of the correspondence I got.
the only other correspondence I received was on someone wanting some private dust control, Brian, and I'll give you his name after the meeting.
Or if you got their email, Adriana can send an email in a heartbeat with all the contact information for all the companies.
That'd be great.
That's been a
That'll
big
take
topic the last couple of weeks, and we'll fire off all the contact information, and they can just call us if they have questions. Otherwise, all that's handled through the private company. There's about 4 of them that they can call.
Okay,
So I can get that after the meeting.
appreciate that. The other one is a private correspondence. It's not for public consumption, but I do need to make sure you remind me to mention that.
Me?
Yes.
Oh,
James?
I just need to talk to Kevin after the meeting.
James wants to talk to you after the meeting.
I'll be here for a work session.
All right.
I'll indicate that.
Okay, well, let's move on. Brings us to discussion and vote. First, we have accounts payable claims in the amount of $761,876.82 in checks and $508,849.97 in wire transfer payments for the total grand total of $1,270,726.79. I need a motion to approve accounts payable.
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker.
Yes.
Shane Campbell.
Yes.
For once, Brian, he was not the top leader in this.
hey. We'll keep striving.
Is it always tomorrow?
Even though you had a lot in there, but he wasn't the top leader.
I'm willing to accept second place.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have B is a Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa 28E agreement. This agreement is made and entered into between and among the undersigned counties, each having adopted this agreement by resolution of its Board of Supervisors and hereby joined together to voluntarily form a public body, corporate, and politic, and separate legal entity under Iowa Code Chapter 28E, and amendments thereto known as the Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa. It identifies the parties, the purpose of the goals, the term and termination. Let me read this last.
Shane, would you read all the pages in between that?
The scope of the amendment. You wanna say anything on this?
Well, we've got the SEAL Southeast Iowa Link, our 8-county region, and we've got South Central Behavioral Health's 4-county region, and we've got Monroe County, all forming one new region, just as Shane mentioned, the Mental Health Agency of Southeast Iowa. So 13-county region now, and the 2 governing boards for SEAL and for South Central Behavioral Health, and also the Monroe County Supervisor, all met, and so this has been approved through them, and now each county is approving this to become a new region.
Tom, you're on that board. Can you input what you think
A
of?
little bit, well, I think it's fine. A little background, they recently put the Department of Human Services and the Health and Human Services, they merged those, which.
Department of Public Health, and yeah.
Yeah, no, Iowa Department of Public Health, so anyways, they probably spent $5 million on stationery, who knows? But, and the state sort of implied that they would like, that the mental health regions would line up with the, judicial districts in the 5th judicial district. So the South Central Behavioral region and the Southeast Iowa Link were both fully in that judicial district. Mahaska, is that the, or is it Monroe?
Monroe.
So Monroe is gonna join us, we still aren't sure about Mahaska, but anyway, they had implied that they would look favorably on that, which implies that they would look unfavorably on it if you didn't. So, we've done this, and I think it'll help improve services in the whole area, so I'm in favor of this.
And I think with Mahaska that their hold-up's their county attorney's office, and what he's saying is he thinks that the way the 28E is put together, it's envisioning 2 separate ways of funding because I think the legislation's gonna change. I don't think that's terminal to this agreement. I think regardless of how the state decides to fund it, that's how the state's gonna fund it. I think it's a separate deal. and we're fine with the 28E as it is. He thinks we need to wait till that's ironed out and then move, which, you know, it's, I don't,
Thank you for confirming what I suspected, that it was the county attorney's office
yes.
that has inserted themselves into the whole deal. But not yours. So, all that said, I think, the next two, this resolution and the one after it, I support. I think it's the way we need to go, gonna be required to go eventually, and it's a good way to go. So I would make a motion to approve the 2080 agreement.
And these documents have gone through all the county attorney's offices of all 13 counties, and were kind of changed, just some minor wording was changed based on what they recommended, because they've seen a lot of 2080 agreements, and they had, not even specific to this, they just had some good ideas for strengthening 2080 agreements, so, yeah,
Yep.
we appreciate all of them.
Kim tried it, did go through, and I spoke to Lisa about it last week, and she said the change that she or Trent had gone through that spotted, so it addressed the concerns that you had. So, like I said, I'd make a motion to approve the 2080 agreement.
Second that.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Brooker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shannon Campbell.
Yes. Thomas, can you pull that, you know that paper, that statement you just read about the core services? You got that, or did you just pull that out off the
Core
off the dome?
services.
Yeah, about keeping our core services at the counties, you just read that. Did you read that, or did it just come off the dome? What was that?
I don't remember addressing core services.
The essential services of.
Essential
Yeah, I'm sorry,
services.
yeah, essential
Oh, that's essential services.
Yeah.
That, I responded to that letter. I said, we don't cut essential services.
Secondary road.
This is part of essential services?
It's part of essential services, but it's also, well, it is, and it's a mandated service. The state, as they do when they took over funding, they handed over a set of rules for good or ill. But yeah, this is an essential service, and Ken's been around longer than I have, believe it or not. But speaking to Ryan and Ken, I know there's a feeling out there that, you know, there's, mental health is way underserved. We provide a lot more services than we did 7 or 8 years ago. And nothing's perfect, but it's a lot better than it was when I got here.
It's a work in progress, and we're making some progress.
There are.
That's-
There are.
I brought that up just because there are communities right now that are struggling, trying to figure out what they're gonna do about their mental health problem. And Des Moines County is not one of those places, though we have our struggles, we're all in and still providing those services. So I just wanted people to be mindful of that.
You did great on this. It's gonna take-
Yeah, it'd been a minute. All right, we'll move to C, which is a resolution 2023-026 approving mental health agency of Southeast Iowa 2080 agreement. It says, whereas Iowa Code 331 expresses the intent of the legislature that mental health and disability services shall be provided by counties operating together as regions. Whereas the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors has participated in the Southeast Iowa Link Seal 2080 agreement as a member county. Whereas the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors has been engaged in the development of the merged mental health agency of Southeast Iowa Region 28E documents. And whereas the governing board represented counties of Appanoose, Davis, Des Moines, Henry, Jefferson, Keokuk, Lee, Louisa, Mahaska, Monroe, Van Buren, Wapello, and Washington have approved the mental health agency of Southeast Iowa 20E by way of roll call vote at their respective mental health and disability service regions governing board meetings. Be it resolved that Des Moines County approves the mental health agency of Southeast Iowa 28E. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Sorry.
Moved in second, Sarah Marie.
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes.
Will you, after the meeting, notify Ryan that we passed those?
Yes.
Because she's gonna wanna put that on the agenda pretty quick.
Okay, I think they have a meeting the 14th.
Yeah. Thank you.
Moving along to 5D. 5D is a resolution 2023-028 for secondary roads, inter-fund transfer for the year 2023-2024. It is desired to authorize the county auditor to periodically transfer sums from the general basic fund and rural services fund to the secondary road fund during the 2023-2024 fiscal year. And whereas said transfers must be in accordance with section 331.429-2017 Code of Iowa. Now therefore be it resolved by the Des Moines County Board of Supervisors as follows. Section 1, the total maximum transfer from the general basic fund to the secondary road fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 shall not exceed $320,568. And the total maximum transfer from the rural services from to the secondary roads fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 shall not exceed $2,177,764. Within 5 working days of being notified of the appointment of current property taxes to the general basic and rural service funds, the county auditor shall order a transfer from said funds to the secondary roads funds. Notwithstanding the provisions of section 2 of this resolution, total transfers shall not exceed the amounts in section 1. I don't think I need to read that. I think we're good. So, the county auditor is directed to correct her books when said operating transfers are made and to notify the treasurer and the county engineer of amounts transferred. That's what it is.
Move to approve resolution 2023-028.
Second.
Moved in second, Sarah Marie.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
That's what it is, yes. Next we have 5E, which is a resolution for conservation interfund transfer for FY 2023-24. Just going to give you the basics on this, the same thing, but it's an interfund transfer. It is desired to authorize the county auditor to periodically transfer sums from the general basic fund to the conservation reserve fund during the 2023-2024 fiscal year. The total maximum transfer from the general basic fund to the conservation reserve fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 shall not exceed $481,234. And the total maximum expenses from general supplemental will not exceed $196,662. That's what it is. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Roker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. All right, moving right along to 5F. 5F is a resolution, 223-030 and final plat for the Pinch Point subdivision. You wanna, say anything on that?
Just a little bit here. This one is actually a reapproval because this is one of those situations where the subdivision ordinance specifically requires that a plat be recorded within 6 months of approval by the board, and for various reasons, this one didn't meet that deadline. It's a property by the Skunk River and the railroad tracks, which was approved back at the end of last August. That's 2 lots that they're splitting off. It was sold at an auction, and the buyer wants to retain lot 1, sell lot 2, which has a house on it, and then the remainder of the farm field would be sold separately from that, for the larger acreage there. So the issue being here, it's both the subdivider and the attorney are based out of town, out of county, so I think there was some initial communication issues there, making sure they had everything they needed to get that recorded right away. So I've been in communication with the attorney, and they've informed me that they have all the legal documents they need now. So just as a formality and being consistent with the ordinance, we would just request that you formally reapprove the subdivision by resolution.
Move through.
Second.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes.
Thank you.
Next we have, G, approval of departmental appointment letters for FY 23-24.
This is for a bookkeeping deal. They have to have letters of appointment before, on every employee in the county to go through payroll, so that they, I guess I don't know. Cheryl would have to explain it, so we've been doing it for the 13 years I've been.
So they can get their correct amount.
Trying to get the correct amount per person anyway, everybody's. That's actually what personnel actions are for, because they amend that if somebody gets a,
You don't need to read it.
Make sure
You can just say it'll be fine.
yeah.
goes along with the contract.
So can I get did we get a motion to approve these?
I think Tom did.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second.
Moved in second. Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes. She said it's gonna cover them all. That's what she said.
They'll stamp every one of them.
She just gave me a look too.
I did.
We can do that after.
Yeah.
Shortcuts. Keep things moving. We're gonna move on to 5H so we can keep things moving for you. 5H is approval for employment contract for the county engineer.
I thought long and hard about this.
Not long enough, obviously.
Am I allowed to fire here?
I wanna move.
There was debate on both sides.
The county engineers has, like, as you call it, a rolling 3-year contract. It has to be renewed every 3 years. So, anyway, the board caved and renewed it, so. Well, I guess it hasn't yet.
That's true.
Because it says we have to agree that it's a mutual covenant.
It is a mutual covenant, yes.
Change of the player. rock, scissors, paper, scissors.
I would, but the camera's still on. I don't want to know that's how I make my
I'm gonna put an
decisions.
end to this and move to approve the county engineer's contract.
Moved, can I get a second?
Second?
Moved in second, Sarah Marie.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
I suppose.
Thank you, much appreciated.
We appreciate you too, Ryan.
Now we're
Brian.
stuck with him.
We're safe for another 3 years.
You know, I talked to a lot of supervisors out there, various meetings I got, and, they still can't believe that you give us road tours, let us know what's going on with that. A lot of these guys don't get that. They don't know what's going on. The only time they know about it is when they come into the meeting. They don't get to put their eyes on it.
Or the phone rings.
That's a shame, because they would function a lot better if they knew.
Yeah, so I really appreciate what you do for us.
I appreciate your guys' time, because it makes my job a lot easier when you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Very thorough. All right. Next we have, Class C liquor license for the Panther Wedding at Myers Wedding Barn. Sheriff?
No concerns at Myers.
Can I get a motion?
Approved.
Second.
Move to second, Sarah Marie.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. Next we have 5J, which is a fireworks permit for the Gladdy family reunion for July 15th, 2023. Sheriff?
All looks well, looks like Chief Kerr with Minneapolis signed off on it, and Mr. Galetti, I think he has his permits in order, so, certifications, I should say.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Sarah Marie?
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes. Okay, moving on to personnel actions. We have one for the sheriff and two for the correctional center. Well, the first one is for Blake Cheeseman for the sheriff's office. He's a deputy. It is a 18-month step increase to 74.77 hours. His previous rate was $55,390.10, and his new rate is $58,648.33, effective date June 28th, 23.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Moving to second, Sarah Marie.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yep. Then we have correctional center. We have three. Do all these at once. First, I have Joanne Schwarm as a kitchen cook. She's a new hire. I know Joanne, and I've tasted her food. It's delicious. She'll be starting her effective date was May 14th of 2023. So we welcome Joanne. The next is Patrick Gorzalek.
Ogrzalik.
Whatever.
Patrick O.
Ogrzalek. All right, Pat. But anyways, it's Pat's anniversary. He's got a 12-month step increase. His previous rate was $42,429.10, and his new rate is $43,501.25, effective date June 8th. And then we have Courtney Cassidy. She's up for her anniversary as a correctional officer. She's getting her 12-month step increase. I remember her ever since she was just a little tiny girl. Now, her previous rate was $42,429.10, and her new rate is $43,501.25, effective date June 29th, 2023. When I was in the hospital having surgery, Courtney brought my food to me. So anyways, can I get a motion to approve?
Move, approve all three of them.
Second.
Moved in second, Sarah Marie.
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yeah. next we have, here's to L, we have reports. We have the Recorder's Monthly Report of Fees Collected for May 2023, the Sheriff's Monthly Report and Fees Collected for May 23, and the General Assistant's Monthly Report of Fees Collected for May 23. And all of these will be on file at the Auditor's Office.
If I could add, I think I mentioned this, but we've seen our sheriff's fees go down over the last several years, and a big part of that is what's occurring is the larger cities, Cedar Rapids, Des Moines, and Council Bluffs. You can see Pottawatomie County, Polk County, and Lynn County. Those sheriff's offices were starting to serve a lot of these papers by certified mail, because that's where the bulk of the law offices are. So they would just, to make their job easier, they just send everything in bulk over to those law offices. So they were serving by certified mail in those areas. And really, the reason we've seen those go back up here locally is because Mary, one of our clerks, Mary Bite, she just really worked hard on building those relationships, and we've actually gotten back up to where we were at one point and beyond. And it's interesting because when she does it, she's great work for herself. But you know, we estimate those revenues at like $60,000 now, and she's been exceeding that by quite a bit. So we appreciate her efforts on the paper services and on the room and board and collecting that money back for the county.
We appreciate that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Delaware, thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, brings us to M, which are meetings for the regular meeting on May 30th, 23. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Tom Broker?
Yes.
Shane McCampbell?
Yes. Okay, gentlemen, do we have any other business?
I have none.
I have none. Future agenda items? Committee reports? Got an IWD Zoom meeting, and nothing's changed since my last one. We're still looking for workers, so there's a lot of jobs in Des Moines County. There's well over 1,000, and they're opening up. So you can move up, and how that works is you get a job and you work there, and then maybe something's gonna open up down the road that's even a better job. You can apply for that job, and you get good references from people that say you're a good worker. Somebody else will step in for your job as you're elevating and moving up. So whatever you're doing, even if you're flipping a burger, we all had to do it, not Tom. But all the rest of us, we flip burgers, we all had to do that, and that's just part of, it's all good, it's all good. It's an honest wage, and don't feel like that's where you're always going to be. Most people that are doing jobs now, they can start off doing that, so you'll be all right.
Once you get on that road, it's a path. You see something you like, you can take a fork in the road one way, but it's,
You're right.
You have to get on that path, and it's, that first job's important.
No matter what position you're in, you might be serving your next employer. Everybody's looking to hire people. They can come in there and see you just doing an outstanding job. And
Yeah.
you make yourself essential to that operation, and they need you. And other employers look at that, and they'll bring you on, and you'll get advancements that way. Get after it.
My first job out of high school, they were putting the gas line in up in Waffle. Man, I'm gonna apply for that. Well, after spending the day on the end of that shovel, I didn't go back the second day.
He said, something else.
I decided I was not gonna be a ditch digger, I'll tell you.
But you had to learn that from going there at least that one day, and it helped set you up for what you
I
wanted
never
to
got
do.
paid for it, 'cause I never went.
He just walked away from it and said, I'm out. He said, I'm out, all right.
My first job in the path appeared. I was in high school and they needed help, or I needed a job, at the florist shop. So the first day, they,
You are fibbing.
no. Anyway, whatever was downtown right next to, is it the Palace Theater?
Box.
Box, flower
The
shop.
florist?
Anyway, oh yeah, I'm in high school. This, at least 15 years ago. Anyway, so I started out when they're doing arrangements of flowers, and I was supposed to stick, just green or something in there. It only took them about 30, 45 minutes to realize that I was not suited for that. It's funny, but they said you're on deliveries. But they kept me until the season.
They don't
was
touch your
over.
flowers, just touch the vase. Drop it off. Well, we all have to find out where our gifts and our talents are, but there's jobs out there. Make sure you get on that road. Any other committee reports?
I attended the SEAL governing board, the joint, the Southeast Mental Health Region of Southeast Iowa, had a Zoom meeting to, once we got the approvals from the county attorneys on that 2080 to approve that as a governing board. That was all I had.
James? All right. We're going to give you 2 minutes at this time. We're gonna start the clock. And those of you, including our friend, Mr. Friend, if you didn't hear, call him back. Let's hear about it. But you can call in right now at 319-753-8203, extension 4. We'd love to hear from you. And you can call it again, 319-753-8203, extension 4. Or you can email us as well at board@dmcounty.com. That is board@dmcounty.com. And James is gonna start the clock. If you guys have something you wanna share, please do. If there's somebody in the audience that has something to share, you're welcome as well.
As I look at the viewer graph, it looks like we're meeting viewers. I think we were up to 7 once, now we're down to 4. Now we're down to 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Somebody bailed. Somebody just bailed on me.
I apologize. I'm not saying anything else.
All I get is the viewership was a lot higher when Beck was out here. What did I do? I do. Sorry, I'm not Bob. I'm sorry, I'm not Bob.
Well, we've got something in common, Tom. My first job was Doss Blumenhaus here in Burlington.
Yeah?
Flower shop, and
Wow.
I was a hop with flowers and watered the flowers, in the greenhouse and all that. 50 cents an hour back when I was in junior high. So middle school, I was going to horse man.
Rolling.
I don't remember how much it paid, but this would have been in the 1960s. So I'm sure it didn't pay very much.
It was a
1960s.
good start though. Good
That's
start.
what they
'Cause
were
my
paying
mom
people.
worked there full time as a florist.
Uh-huh.
And so she could keep an eye on me by me doing odd jobs for them, helping with the garden and back.
Win-win.
Yep.
So you were one of those kids that need to be looked after,
Yeah,
huh?
I'd come after school till
Bless your
5
heart.
o'clock and every Saturday,
Just keep them off the streets.
Yep.
So I don't think this warranted the full meeting, but yesterday in between hearings, when I got back to the office, I get the service for all the service for the county. So yesterday we were served official notice by a sovereign citizen.
Quit, Trent, don't, man, don't
That's
do
20
it.
minutes of the day. is
Mighty
nice.
sovereign citizen.
And so they put us on notice that we are all franchises of the illegal corporation, which is now the United States. And the courts are, and the municipal courts and the law enforcement are all, military, and this is, all violating their individual rights that are given only by the Creator and natural law, and any usurpation of that's a violation, and they had a fee schedule, so anytime we enter government property, it's not really government property, it's theirs, because they're true natural citizens. And so that would be a $300,000 fine anytime we give somebody, require any type of licensing, so like the fireworks licensing, driver's license, that's a $20,000 fine. They had this whole fee schedule, but, so very, very comical read,
I know a couple of cats like that, and but I have to say this publicly. I'm not gonna just totally crap all over that.
No.
I do believe that people have rights as citizens, but there's some people that they take it to another level.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh, yeah.
I got a friend, he's taking it to that level, man, that's where he's at.
Yeah.
2 minutes is up. I haven't heard that term sovereign citizen for a while until you mentioned it. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've heard.
I know we had any sovereigns in Des Moines County, make sure I know his name, so I can give him the proper homage when I see him.
Those traffic stops always go interesting.
You can't give me a ticket.
I'm not driving, I'm traveling, it's.
Yep, yep, yep.
Wow, man. Bless us, everyone, man. The 2 minutes up. We gotta end this, man. 2 minutes up. Woo.
Make the motion, we go into closed section with Iowa Code 21.5K to discuss information protected under the code, section 22.750.
Second.
A governmental, 21.5 is a governmental body may hold a closed session only by affirmative public vote or either 2/3 of the member of the body or all the members present at the meeting. A governmental body may hold a closed session only to extent a closed session as necessary for any of the following reasons. And the reason is, this is to be kept confidential, and K 22.7 subsection 50 says, to discuss information contained in records and the custody of a governmental body that are confidential records pursuant to this section. So, Sarah Marie?
Jim Carrey,
Yes.
Tom Broker,
Yes.
Shane McCampbell.
Yes, we're going into closed session.